Hey. Yeah, it's time to start. Okay, so question number one. I want everybody to go up to the graphing quadratics using your calculator today. All right, which is going to be kind of easy because I was able to get through some of the lessons or some of the information with you yesterday. All right, but there's a few more things that I want to discuss, so please. Question number one. All right, so now we're going to use the graphing calculator a lot today, but still some of the concepts are still the same. All right. Now, first thing is finding the axis of symmetry. So, x is equal to negative b over 2a. So in this case, negative b would be what? 6 over 2, which is 3. Thank you very much. Axis symmetry is x equals 3. All right, so now if we go ahead and just graph x equals 3, label that our axis symmetry, that would be good. Right now to find the vertex, remember you're taking 3 and plugging it into the equation. So you end up with y is equal to 3 squared minus 6 times 3, which everybody can see is negative 9. So 3, negative 9. Now the y-intercept is what?
It's 0.
0 what?
0.
Yep, 0, 0. All right, because the c value or the constant is 0. Any issues with that? All right, now something new. All right, the X-Intercept. Put a little star by that. The X-Intercept just means when the y value is equal to 0. So occasionally you've heard me say find the zeros. When somebody says find the zeros of the function, they really mean find when the y value is 0. So if we find when the y value is 0 for this function, the f of x, remember what I'm saying, is 0, is y. That is correct. F of x is y, and we're converting y to what? 0. So now off to the side, you're going to say 0 equals x squared minus 6x. Now, who remembers this from last week? What do I need to do? What am I doing? Factoring a what? A what? Yes. How do I do that?
X and X.
Almost. What is it?
Nothing is a 0.
Nope. You're just factoring a what? Factoring a?
X.
Yes, GCF. Think about that, guys. It's already set equal to 0. That's the objective. When you are solving a quadratic, you want it set equal to 0. That's why they call it zeros. So you set it equal to 0, now you solve. Now Gavin said you factor out the x. So when you factor out the x, you get x times x minus 6. Then you set the factors equal to 0. And so x is either 0 or x equals what? 6. Anybody have any questions with that? So now to write the zeros, it's going to be 0, comma 0 and 6, comma 0. All right, now let's just kind of look at the graph. All right, so the y-intercept is 0, 0, so we put a dot there. Now, if we were to measure, we would say there are what? 3 units over here, so it has to be 3 units on the other side. And now, I don't think I plotted the vertex, but the vertex is 3, negative 9, which is going to be right down there. So these are the 3 points that I plotted. And now I want you to just try to draw the graph. All right, something like that. I don't like that, sorry. All right, so there's your graph. All right, now what I want to do is I want to talk about the domain. All right, the domain is the what? The x values that are on the graph. And the range is probably the what? The y values that are on the graph. When we talk about the domain is the x-axis. So how far left can you go and how far right can you go? Well, just in this graph, it's -10 to 10, but does it have to stop at -10? No, it does not. Right, so you're supposed to see that the graph is continually moving to the what? Left, and it's continually moving to the what?
Right.
To the right. So in math terms, we say the domain is from -infinity to infinity, or the other symbol you'll use next year or a couple years is all real numbers. All right, you can square any number. All right, that's why quadratic's domain is all real numbers. All right, will this change? Will the domain change for a quadratic? And the answer is no. So if you're paying attention, the domain will always be from -infinity to infinity or all real numbers. All right, now with that in mind, the range is your movement, what? Up and down. So how far down can you go? How far down can you go? -9, right? Because think about, you're looking down, and all of a sudden, you're going, watch what I'm doing, you're going down, and then all of a sudden you reach a point, and then you have to go what? You have to go back up. So how far down did you go? You went to -9, all right? So bracket, -9, then you go to what? Infinity. That is correct. -9 to infinity. All right? Yes.
How do you guys do the bracket?
Remember, bracket is including -9. So you never really make it to infinity. That's why you use parentheses. All right? That's a good question. Bracket is inclusive. That means it includes -9. Parentheses means it doesn't include that, because infinity is just an idea. All right? Now, that's the graph. So I want everybody now to take out your calculator. Everybody type in x squared minus 6x. Come on, let's go, let's go. Everybody type that in, please. Now, everybody look at the graph and see if it's graphed correctly. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, what I want to do today is we're going to evaluate two new things. All right. In this case, guys, the this graph is a little unique because the Y-intercept and the X-intercept are the same point. Does everybody agree with that? All right. And so when you found the X-intercepts, you also happen to find the Y-intercept, which is rare. All right. So again, plotting those 3 points was the graph. All right. Now, there are going to come times when you can't look at and tell me what the X-intercept is. You're going to have to approximate the X-intercept. All right. In the next chapter, I'll show you how to find them when it's not a whole number, all right? But right now, we don't know how to find them, all right, outside of factoring. If you can't factor, then you don't know how to do it. So that's why the calculator is very handy. If you want to find the zeros, all right, again, I'm going to put this up on the board so you can make sure you're hearing me. This right here is going to be my what? My cursor. All right, that's going to be my cursor, so I need everybody's attention. All right, I'm going to find this intercept, and I'm going to find this intercept using the calculator. So here we go. I want everybody to hit the second button and calc. Now, what's number 2 say? That's right. That's what we're going to find. We're going to find the 0. So everybody hit 2. And then the cursor comes on the screen. And on the screen it's going to say left bound, correct? Listen to me. You have to move your cursor to the left of this 0. So is my cursor to the left of the 0?
Yes.
Is it to the left of the 0? No. Is it to the left of this 0?
Yes.
Yes. Is it to the right of the 0 now? Yeah. All right, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that your cursor is on the left and the right of the 0 that you're looking for. So I'm going to take my cursor and move it to the left. Once I move it to the left, I hit enter. And then it'll say what? Right bound. Then you move it to the right of the 0. Then you hit enter. And then it says what?
Yes.
Do I care?
No.
No, hit enter. And what comes up on the calculator?
60.
If you found the right, if you found this one over here, it's 60. If you found the 0 on the left, it will be what? 0, 0. And you have to do that twice because you want to find both zeros. All right? So everybody find both zeros. And what should come up on your calculator is 0, 0, and 6, 0. All right? You have to do it how many times? Twice. You have to do it twice. What's the matter? Where's yours? Okay, so sit right over there. You can sit in the king's chair. Slide your thing over. There's a come on. There's a charger right over there. And actually, whose is that? Well, boy's charging. Pull this off now. Right here. Sit right here. Pull it off. Pull this off. Put it up there on the, and then put yours down. Yes, ma'am.
I can only find 0, 0.
No, you can find them both. You ready? Second calc. 0. Now, this 0 needs to be somewhere over here. Then hit enter. Then you got to go to the right of that, which would be somewhere over here. You hear me?
Oh, I got it.
All right, come on. Anybody have any questions with how to find the zeros? The reason, hey, the reason you're getting 6, 0 all the time, or the reason you're getting 0, 0 all the time, is because you're not putting the cursor on the left and the right of the 0 that you want. That's why. So once again, I'm going to show you, to get this 0 right here, I have to be to the left, which would be right there, and to the right, which would be right there. Why is that hard? Do it again. Hurry up. Come on, chop, chop. Did you get it yet? Yeah, see what I'm saying? Yeah, you have to remember that. All right, you got to listen carefully now because it's, to me, it's really easy. Don't you agree it's kind of the same as finding the vertex, correct?
Yes.
All right, just to make sure you understand what I mean, I want everybody now to try to find the vertex using your calculator. And in this particular case, it is a what? It's a minimum. So you got to calculate the minimum. Let's go. Let's calculate the minimum, right? And we know that the vertex is 3, -9.
2.99.
Yes, if it comes up 2.999, whatever, then that's good enough. Right, you would round it to 3. It's just a little flaw in the program. Is everybody good with that or not?
Yeah.
You know what you're doing? Remember, you got to be to the left and right of the vertex. You got to be to the left and right of the vertex. All right, so far so good, right, guys? All right, let's jump down to number 2. Let's see how we're doing. All right, that wasn't too bad. All right, question number 2. Here we go. Now, axis of symmetry. All right, let's go ahead and find that real quick. Again, write it. X equals. What would it be? Wait a minute. What would it be? No. 2 over -2. Remember, all the negatives are there for a reason, to try to throw you off. It's -b over 2 times a. And a in this case is what? -1. So the axis symmetry is what? So everybody go put x equals -1. Now, to find the vertex, we plug -1 in. So y equals negative, parentheses, -1 squared minus 2 times -1 plus 5. Somebody tell me what that is. Y equals -1 plus 2 plus 5. I got 6. Everybody agree? Now again, you don't need a calculator for that. You need to practice your math up here. Make sure you understand order of operations. Come on, you got to take control of that. Do you understand order of operations? How did I get that? All right, -1, comma 6. Anybody have any questions with -1, comma 6? What's the y-intercept? 0, comma 5. All right. Now, x-intercept, set it equal to 0, right? So I want everybody to go 0 equals -x squared minus 2x plus 5. Can anybody look at that and tell me if it can factor? Yes or no? Can't factor. There's no factors of 5 that are going to be 2, correct? That's why we need the graphing calculator. All right, so I want someone quickly, to tell me the 2 x-intercepts. All right, now we're going to round it to 3 decimal places in math. All right, so quickly, let's go. Chop, chop. Find the x-intercepts. Find the x-intercepts. Who's got one? I got one right here. Go.
X equals 1.45.
That's to 3 decimal places? 1.4. What's the other number?
9.
What's the other number?
1.449.
Is that so? It would be to 1.45. 1.45 comma 0. I'll take your word for it. I said 3 decimal places. Is that right, or is it 1.449?
1.449.
All right, thank you. Wow, that was hard. 1.449 comma 0. Who found the other one? Oh, good, thank you.
No, I just have
No, I want the answer.
1.7.
No. Anybody else? Find the other 0. Come on, guys. Look at the graph. Type it in. Find where it crosses the x-axis. What was the other one?
-3.449.
-3.449 comma 0. I don't know what you guys are having trouble with. Go ahead, Ava.
I'm just, wait, what did you do to get that?
I graphed it. I looked on my calculator. And then I went second calc, 2, and then I moved to the left and to the right of each 0. That's what I did. What did you get? Did you get those?
Yeah.
Look, guys, now your job is to see if they're correct. I'm not sure I would believe them, honestly.
Yeah, I just checked her.
Are they correct?
Yeah.
Oh, Miss Booth says they're correct, so we're moving on. That settles it. Boys, is she correct?
Yes.
All right, now look, if you're having trouble with your calculator still, let me know, because I want to fix it now rather than wait. What's the matter?
It keeps coming up no solution.
The reason why it's no solution is because you're not going to the left and to the right of the 0. Let me just draw your attention real quick. So what I want to do now is go ahead and graph these real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph the axis symmetry, which is x equals -1. So I'm going to draw this axis of symmetry right here, x equals -1. Then I'm going to draw the vertex, which is -1, 6. Then the y-intercept is here. All right, now I'm going to draw the graph. All right, so when I draw the graph, it's going to look something like this. And then the other one's going to look something like this. Uh-oh. It's going to look something like this. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Emily, is that correct? Okay, now look, Ava, did you get those points yet? You got them now, right? You agree it's not that hard, right? It's not that hard. So here you go. Ready? All right, so here we go. What I'm drawing right now is the what? I'm drawing the cursor. All right, so the cursor that's on the screen, when you hit calc, second calc, 0, which was number 2, you got to go to the left and right. So I want to move it down here somewhere to the left. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Then you hit enter once. Then you have to move it, the cursor, to the right. Am I to the right of the 0? So hit enter a second time. And I don't care about guessing. So hit enter a third time. Wow, there you are. That's not hard. Now guess what I have to do, Emily? The same thing for the other point. You agree with that? So try if you see if you can get the other point. What? That's because you're not doing it right. That's the only reason. So let's do it right one more time. I was just showing Emily. You ready? Try it again. Second, calc. Hit number 2. Now, look at my cursor. I want my cursor to the left. But some of you guys, last class was okay. Some kids didn't honestly know the left and right. I'm not even going to lie. All right, they weren't even sure what I meant by left and right. Let me make sure I'm clear on this. This right here, stay with me. This right here is the 0. So I want to be to the left of that, and then I want to be to the right of that. So did you do it? Okay, now I don't need your... here's my 0 right here. You look at mine. Am I to the left?
Yes.
So then after I hit enter, it says right bound.
Yes.
Now you move it up here somewhere. To the right. Then it says guess.
Oh, I got it.
Right?
Yes.
Easy. Now do the other one just to make sure. All right. Uh-oh, we got problems.
So why is the line for that 0? Why isn't so why is that 0?
Because it's where that graph crosses the y-axis or the x-axis. The 0 means where the graph crosses the x-axis. And if it crosses the x-axis, what's the y value, guys?
0?
0. That's why they call it a 0. When is the y 0? It's answering that question. Make sure you hear me on that. All right. Is everybody pretty happy with that then, correct? Anybody have any questions? All right. So let's see if you understand the domain. What's the domain? All real numbers. So those of you guys who are listening, that was no trouble for you. The symbols are right there. I don't care which one you use. Depending on your math teacher in a couple years, one or the other will be good. Uh-oh. Now someone who's paying attention for the range. Emily.
Negative infinity and positive 6.
Wow. Very, very good. Very, very good. So you went from this time, negative infinity, and we stopped at 6. That is exactly correct. Very good. You may understand that because remember, I told you about the range. You're looking what? Up and down for the range. So how far down did you go? Negative infinity. Then you went how far up? All the way to 6. And then you had to stop because then you went back what? Then you went back down. So you understand that. You can go left as much as you want, and you can go what? Right as much as you want. All right? But your up and down could be restricted by your vertex. All right, now just because some of you need practice, I want you to find the vertex. Practice using your calculator, find the vertex. You don't have to tell me, we know what it is. You're practicing using your calculator. Don't just say, well, I know how to do it. Just do it. Come on, find the vertex using your calculator. And then after you find the vertex using your calculator, practice finding the Y-intercept. To find the Y-intercept, you hit second calc value, and then you just type in 0, and then that'll tell you what the Y-intercept is. All right? And the reason I'm telling you that is only because if you're taking a test and you forget how to do it, guess what? Your calculator can figure everything out for you. Your calculator can figure everything out for you. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand right now. All right? The more you use your calculator, the better you'll be and the more comfortable you use it in the future when you're taking your tests. Anybody have any questions with the calculator? Any questions with the calculator? All right, what time do we get out today? Okay, so what I want everybody to do right now is a little bit. Everybody try number 3. All right, do it on your own. All right, everybody try number 3. Come see, please. Thank you very much. Here we go. Axis of symmetry. Somebody tell me. No. No. What's the axis of symmetry?
Oh, on that one.
It's an equation.
Oh,
X equals 2. You're not allowed to say that. X equals 2. That is the axis of symmetry. Anybody else get that? All right, so the vertex. 2, comma, somebody said -10. Anybody agree with that?
yes.
So far, so good. Hubble, you good? All right, now the Y-intercept. The Y-intercept. 0, comma, -2. What? What is the X-intercept?
-0.236.
-0.236.
0. And the next one is 4.236.
Anybody else get that?
Yes.
Everybody good on that?
Yeah.
Pretty easy, right?
Yep.
And then domain.
All real numbers.
Good. And now my range.
-10.
Okay, now I keep trying to tell some of you guys, there is nothing I can do to help you if you're not willing to say, give me a little bit of help on that. Does anybody have any doubts about question number 3? Any doubts? All right, so listen, tomorrow we're going to do 4, 5, and 6. What do I want you to do tonight? Practice. Which ones?
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, listen, just do me a favor, just for your own benefit. Math is repetition. I don't need to give you 3 new problems. I'm giving you 3 problems to repeat. Type it on the calculator. Make sure you thoroughly understand X-intercept, what a Y-intercept means. What's the domain? What's the range? Vertex, axis of symmetry, graphing the points, understanding what the axis of symmetry is. It's a mirror. The right side is the same as the left side. Anybody have any questions? All right, that was a good job today, guys. 1, 2, and 3. Just review 1, 2, and 3. Tomorrow we'll do 4, 5, and 6, and then we'll have a nice weekend. No homework.
Harrison,